In this particular lecture, we're going to talk about the business life cycle, and it's all part of the understanding how business works. We're going to look at certain elements that would help you to further know where you are and what stage you're at, and what you need to be thinking about and doing, and how your business is likely to evolve. So, nearly all businesses run through this type of cycle. And this is what it is. It goes from startup to growth, to maturity, to rebirth or death. So, at the beginning, once you've tested your ideas, you've developed your ideas, you've written a business plan, you kind of start trading. And you start the business. I like what Steve Blank says about a startup. He describes a startup as a business that is looking for a sustainable and repeatable business model. Okay, so you're a startup if you're still looking to find a sustainable and repeatable business model. So once you've found that, you're now out of startup. But at that stage, the startup stage, you're pretty much doing everything. You are the one that does the cleaning, that mails out, that does the mail out, that writes the invoices. You pretty much, you're the one that finds who's going to work for you. You source employees or outsource contracts, and you do quite a lot of variety of work. You are also the salesperson and the marketing person, and sometimes you are the one that does the coding and the one that's, you do a lot of things. And even if you have a team of people or partners working with you, at that stage, everybody does a bit of everything. But then you're going to move to the growth stage, where you have different kind of departments, staff. You're going to have more money. You're going to have more customers, and the business really changes. And that's where we need to be careful, because as the business is growing, we also have more complex issues and more complex problems that we need to deal with. So you're at the growth stage now. You're cruising, and things are now a lot better. You have somebody to rely on. You don't have to work as much as you've been doing in the beginning. You can now work strategically because you have other people taking on certain parts of the business that are important, like the HR, like the marketing. You now have a sales manager. You have a head of HR that looks at the staff. You have, 10 staff, 5 staff, whatever it is. You have somebody that looks after the accounts, and you don't have to worry about doing that. So business is growing, you're making money, and your product is becoming accessible to your clients, and everything is going well. Then you move into maturity, which is where your brand is now known, and you're pretty much at a point where, if you're not careful, the next stage could be death, or you'll have to rebirth or exit, as it's got up there. And one of the things that can happen is, if you do nothing after you've reached a particular point, especially at the stage of maturity, then the business will just die. It will just naturally die. It's gone from startup to growth to maturity. Now it's going to just die. But if you want it to have a rebirth, then you need to either create new products, have a successor. You step down a bit, have a successor, buy out existing businesses by acquisition, so that you can continue to rebuild and regrow and rebirth yourself as a business. So those are the kind of stages that every business goes through, and you will notice that there's certain elements that are crucial at each stage of this startup, growth, maturity, and exit. So the life cycle and changes needs and changing needs. The skills you need in the beginning, at the startup stage, is different from those you will need at the growth and maturity stage and acquisition stage, if you're going to go for that as the strategy for rebirth. or the resources you need is different. The management abilities you need is different. There's much more compliance issues when you are growing and in your maturity stages. So there are different needs at different times, at different stages of that life cycle. So just to recap what we've talked about, and this is going to make more sense as we go along, okay? So you need to know where you are, know what you need to do, know the skills you need to have and how you need to prepare. And you need to kind of like prepare for the journey ahead. You got to look ahead. You start your business today, you're looking ahead 10, 20 years time. What's going to happen? Are you going to have a successor? Do you want to just sell out and just drive into the into the sunshine somewhere, or are you gonna keep this business going like a Walmart or a Sainsbury's or a Tesco that have been going for many years? Is that what you want to do? So you kind of start thinking about that, because the business cycle works in any business.